And it's weird because it's like once you get into a mode where you ain't got no choice but to grind, all of a sudden you grinding. But then when you get into a situation where, everything is going good for the moment, you ain't grinding no more. So these same people who lost their jobs, and I mean, like, yo, for real, I'm not trying to disrespect nobody who lost their job during COVID, bro. I promise you that's not what this is about. But most of y'all who lost y'all job during COVID, y'all won't grinding before then. So that's why you end up losing your job in the first place. That's why you ended up in a situation where you needed a stimulus check because you won't grind it.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast where the elephants always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. We are back in the lab for another one.
We are back for another one, fam. How you been, man?
I've been
still feel like it's been a while since I seen you for real. Like
I seen you like day before yesterday.
But they keep sending you away, ma. That's the problem.
Okay.
So they keep, and it ain't no call of mine. And I tried to stop it. Like I tried to put you in TDR, that didn't work. Tried to put you somewhere else, that didn't work either. I'm like, we need this person. We need this person. They're like, nah, we got to send them anyway. I'm like, all right, cool. Fuck it. It's your fault anyway. You ain't do what I told you to do.
It's all fine. It's all fine. So turns out Thomas and I got the same story. Like he basically got to the dock the same way I did. Mm-hmm. Only thing, he got a warning. I did not. One of the previous managers, or I don't even know what he was, but very close friend of ours. He's gone now. He left for another building.
Yeah.
So he was like, talking with him because they kept sending him to the docks or whatever. And he was like, I mean, you can transfer, to kind of get the schedule that you want, but you always gonna be a picker. Now it's like, I'm glad you got that warning because I sure didn't. I was going into this like, I ain't gonna pick no more. I ain't going back down there. This is my freedom. Get down there. All right, go back to pick. What?
So much so that I didn't even know you transferred.
Exactly. Because I was telling everybody, because I was like, yo, I ain't gonna see y'all no more. I'm gonna be at the docks. They was like, you transferred? And I was like, yeah. Get down there. Didn't you transfer? I couldn't tell. I don't even know at this point.
Well, see, you had the ball in your court, and you because you such a nice guy,
I
dropped the ball. You dropped the ball.
I will admit that I dropped the ball.
It's gonna be, and based on who our manager is now, it's gonna be a while before you able to drop that ball again. I'm just saying. Man. But yeah, dog, like corporate America's trash, but we ain't got to talk about that. I mean, we could talk about it, but I mean, it's pointless at this point to keep hitting that horse on the head because everybody know that the job sucks. Your job probably sucks, even if you don't work where we work at. It probably sucks in its own way. And some people might be delusional enough to say that my job doesn't suck. No, your job just sucks a little less than ours does, but it still sucks because it's a job. But yeah, we don't need to get into that, man. So yeah, man, how's things been going on the business aspect? I know we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. You got any updates?
Still just like I always say, just hammering out. More so, connecting the dots, putting things together. a lot of things have like come together a lot easier.
Mm.
So I was actually listening to an audiobook of The Subtle Way Not to Give a Fuck. It's actually a real good book.
I love that book. The art of not giving a
uh
fuck.
yeah, it actually gave me like some insight on some things, especially like things that like I deal with, especially with like uh any and everything. Like not don't have that, I don't care attitude to the point where like you're not doing stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's subtle, like the book says. You have that mindset to the point where you're not stressing over everything. You're not
Right.
over analyzing, overthinking, and that's a lot. I
Or
do that
caring what
a
people
lot.
think so much.
Yeah. Uh but I remember I was like, I would, try to sit down and do something, and for like a good probably like the first 20 minutes, all right, I should do this, and that, trying to plan it out. Uh and I came up here one time and I was just like, all right, we just gonna work. We just gonna do it. We ain't gonna really plan too much. We already got the know-how, we just gonna do it. And I was just like, that was the most productive day I've ever had. Like, yeah, I was having breakthrough after breakthrough. I was like, all right, writing stuff down, got like how we gonna do this with this game and whatnot. Came up with another game, and I was just like, yo, we need to do this every day. This is the formula for every day. So yeah.
Yeah, when I read that book, man, I got a completely different completely different view on it because I read it for a different reason because I cared a little too much about how people viewed me
Mm-hmm.
and how people saw me. So that part of the book was what I needed the most. And like, bro, I mean, I tell you, it used to cripple me.
Mm-hmm.
Like how people perceived me, like that used to cripple me. Like I used to literally like if I knew somebody didn't like me, I would literally seek that person out and try to have a conversation with that person to find out why they didn't like me, bro. Like I used to go take time out of my day to make people feel some type of way about me or like
Mm-hmm.
look at me in a certain light or a certain fashion. And what that book taught me was, bro, those people don't give a damn about you. Those people not thinking about you when you're not in front of them. Like, why are you even doing that? So yeah, it's funny how like you like two people can read a book and like get completely different values from
Mm-hmm.
it, bro. Like that is so crazy.
Uh, I mean that's like with any book. It's like a not vague but very uh defined piece of information, and then people are different, so yeah, they're gonna have like different mindsets or
Right.
different takes on anything, whether it be a book, study guide, or whatever. um and that's crazy because I was talking with Alex one day. We were talking about something, I think it was a job or something like that, and he straight up told me, because we got to a point, he was like, well, you can't please everybody. Like, uh, they're gonna be people that dislike you just because you're in the position you're in, or
Oh, bro.
uh,
Thank God. Thank God I read that book before I got this position, bro. Thank God.
is inevitable to be free of all problems. And that's another thing that was in the book. uh like, it's not, you shouldn't go through problems. It's all right, what am I willing to put up with to get to that success? It's not, oh, how should I move throughout my everyday life, my go to success to avoid all problems. It's no,
Mm.
it's like, all right, what do I need to go to better myself, to get me to uh some type of point faster than I would trying to avoid everything. Or like we talked about on episode way back, how people will do any and everything to like avoid a situation but it ends up, costing them way more than just, dealing with it. So
Right, they're sweeping it under the rug there.
yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you who listening to this and you wondering what book we talking about, Mark is actually talking about The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson.
Yes.
This is a very good book. I listened to it like 2 or 3 times. It was one of the books that changed me to the man that I am now. Along with Rich Dad Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich, because Think and Grow Rich, I still listen to that today and still get a new nugget and a new bar from that thing every single time I listen to it. I think I read it 6 times, listened to it 3 times at this point in my life, bro. Like that book is like I feel like that's the Bible at this point. And every time I listen to it, Mark, something different hit me. So yeah. But back to what you were just saying about I don't even remember now.
Like going through, you don't go through life trying to avoid problems. You want
Problems.
the problems.
Yeah, I had something to add to that, and let me drop this down because I feel like it's distracting me. I was working on the book cover for book 3. Oh shit. And yeah, I had that up on the screen. But yeah, man, people will try to avoid life if they had to, bro. Like if they could, like there are people who would literally just be like, look, I'm gonna stay in my bed. I ain't getting up. I'm not going anywhere. I ain't talking to nobody. I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live in doing nothing for the rest of my life. Like for real, people would do that if you let them, bro. Like if they, I'm gonna just be real. Like most people, if they ain't need a job, bro, they wouldn't get out of bed to do nothing. Like if your bills are just paid and you ain't had nothing to do with your life, bro, like people would just literally stay in bed all the time, bro. Like, and it's the craziest thing. And you talking like people like avoiding problems, like I need to be. It must be like a class or something, because somebody got to teach me at some point in my life, bro, why the most confrontational people are the ones who are quick to try to avoid problems when they arise.
What you mean?
All right, so like extreme scenario. How you gonna cuss somebody out, but then get mad when they cuss you out the next time they see you?
Yep. Those the book talked about that too. The entitled people. So it's like people like that, they believe like basically like the shit don't stink. Somewhere along the line, usually it's a coping mechanism for something going on like in the background, something that they're dealing with, and the only way not to deal with it, they feel like, oh, either they're on the high end of the spectrum. Oh, I have so many accomplishments, nobody can tell me nothing, I'm the shit. Or they're on the low end of the spectrum where it's like, oh, I have so much going on, I'm a victim, so I feel entitled that my problems are worse than anybody else's problems, so I need the most help or something like that.
Damn.
And when I heard that, I was just like, yo, this is it. People are like that. Like,
right.
You hardly see people like in the middle, like, all right, I got this going on. I'm not at the lowest, but like I can do better. So I'm gonna do better than myself. And it's usually the middle people that are like, striving to do greater things, but still trying to help others. But like the people that's on the extreme high and low people, they got their hand out, like, all right, give me. The people up high, they trying to, get you to do their work for them, or like some other type. And
There's
I'm
something
like,
deep about what you just said, right? You said that we hardly ever see the people who are in the middle.
Mm.
And like just being honest with you, Mark, we don't see the people in the middle because those people are well above our range of uh of life right now. Like
Mm.
those people have thus since learned that, their 9 to 5 living ain't necessarily where they're supposed to be, or
Right.
they're still at the 9 to 5. They're just somewhere sitting in the office somewhere and ain't really on the floor.
This is true. This is true. Um. So along with that, like I know we talked about like for the people with the extreme highs and lows, uh their problems. It's not to say that one problem is greater than the other, because like everyone has problems.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
All right.
Because I love to hear somebody say, right?
Mm,
Why does this always happen to me?
mm. Uh,
It's
so
almost like you the
mhm.
only human on the
That's
world, on the planet,
uh-huh.
that this has ever happened to. Like, I don't know, bro.
Facts.
Go
Like they
ahead, go
feel
ahead.
like out of the billions and trillions of people on Earth, like the universe or whatever is just after them. Like they're the only ones going through. But it's like problems are inevitable. You can't avoid the problems, like we said at the beginning. And one thing that was said in the book was like if you really, got rid of the bullshit and like just looked at it, a poor person's problems would be the same or just as bad as a rich person's problems. They're on two different ends of the social hierarchy or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but they're the same.
The only difference is that somebody had a different reaction to a problem,
Mhm.
and they did something different in the process in the problem.
And one of the things that got me, and it's even like really simple, like a poor man's money problems is basically the same as a rich man's money problems. It doesn't change. You're still gonna need more of it. Like,
Right. Right. Exactly, bro. And something I heard youth say recently. Shout
mm,
out to youth, man. Real cool dude. Um, my man said all this is fake. Like all this is fake. Like whether you rich or poor, bro. The only thing that really matters is your happiness, dog. And and like what you just said made me think of that because like people think that if I made more money, and if
mm,
I had more money in the bank, then I would be well off. I would be in a better situation than I'm in now. And it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, bro. Because I feel like somebody who has like they overdraft their account every
mm,
single week. They they live in check to check every single week. I feel like if you got more money, then it just leads you to a point where you just continue doing the same shit with your money that you were doing. You could just do it on a bigger scale now.
yeah.
So um, people and I see people and have conversations with people all the time where they say that this this job isn't worth the money that I'm making to do it. And I'm like, but you don't need money to do anything else. So how is it not worth it? You're not able to do anything that you want to do, quote unquote. You're not good enough to do anything more to get any more money. So
Mm,
that's already off the table. And if you had more money, you wouldn't even know what to do with it. So you will just blow it on dumb shit, and then you'll be back at square one. Like it frustrates me so much, right?
mm,
Because I'm like, yo, there's a level of truth to this, Mark. Once you reach a different social class,
mm,
your expenses has to rise. And there's some truth to that. Like if I'm living in a fancy neighborhood,
mm,
I can't drive an old beat up car because if I'm living in this fancy neighborhood, then
yeah,
obviously I got a job that is, or I'm doing something that I need a good reliable vehicle for. So I'm going to go to get me, neighbor got a Mercedes Benz. Other neighbor got a BMW. My neighbor across the street, for whatever reason, drives a fucking Polaris, fucking slingshot for whatever reason, and got 2 or 3 motorcycles. I'm probably going to go in one of those directions to get a car. I'm not going to necessarily go to a Hyundai dealership or a used car lot to get a car. So I'm probably going to get something of high status. If I got a job that I make $120,000 a year, you will literally have to, in that social status, you will literally have to convince yourself. It is literally a art of willpower at that point. You will literally have to convince yourself to go get a Honda Prius, a Toyota Prius. Yeah. Like, you literally have to think about it. Like, yo, for real. Just like on instinct alone, I was about to go to this Mercedes-Benz dealership. On instinct alone, I was about to go to this Mercedes-Benz dealership. But I really had to sit back and think, like, yo, I do not need that. So, and I realized that once I moved to this neighborhood, bro, because like everybody around here got nice cars. Everybody around here got nice cars, and you don't necessarily get to a point where you're overspending unless you really try not to think about it. Right. So if you get to the point where you like, all right, I'm moving into a nice house, let me do what my neighbor's doing. All right, yep. So you're trying to do what your neighbor's doing. Now you see your neighbor balled out, but you don't necessarily make as much money as your neighbor. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So people get to a point where they try to let their social status increase their expenses, and then all of a sudden they start falling behind, and they don't see the trend of them falling behind because they living like everybody else is living. They doing the same thing everybody else is doing. So you get to a point where now you're overspending what you're living because your living situation said you had to live a certain type of way, and now you're back at square one. Yep. Now we got to file for bankruptcy.
Facts. And it's crazy because Herb and them said it in their episode. They were talking about basically, a new rapper that was coming up, or I think he's been in the game for a little bit while. And Herb, he doesn't like, comparing artists, but if you think about it, like anything new, new environment, new job, new anything, a person is going to compare themselves to something else or compare anything to something familiar, because that's what our brain latches onto, the things that are familiar. If we don't understand it, we'll compare it to make it feel familiar. And the only way to change that is just like you said, you got to basically talk to yourself, break yourself out that
a sense of normalcy.
Yeah. Because it's toxic. The environment that you're in can be very, very toxic, and if you're not aware of it, if you're just living your everyday life or just oblivious to the outside world, you're gonna fall into that toxicity. Mm-hmm. Any and everything, you would just go about your day. Oh, this person, they live around here or whatever. They suggest that, I have to look the part. I moved to this neighborhood. Like you said, you're driving whatever, some type of Oldsmobile or something. Mm-hmm. You got a hole in your muffler, so every time you come down the road, the neighbors hear you. They outside, looking at you all sideways and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Being put in that situation is gonna make you change, and a lot of times people sometimes they don't even realize it. Some people do it just because like that's the only thing they know. They go somewhere new. All right, I gotta fit in, so I'm gonna be like everyone else. Get the fancy car, get the fancy dress.
But the thing that bothered me, right? Because like I recently I recently had a conversation with somebody who make over $100,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
and we were having a discussion about business, and he said that I'm living check to check, just like you live in check to check. Because I said something about having more money,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Yeah, I've lived check to check like you live check to check." And bro, that confused me. I'm like, you, that's a joke, right? He's like, no, like I mean, I have expenses too, just like you have expenses. I'm like, but you don't necessarily you like I'm like, oh, I don't think you understand. Like, I got basic living expenses. Like, I'm not like
Yeah.
I got expenses because I need to have a car to get to
Mm-hmm.
work and I need to have a house to live in, bro. I'm not necessarily like out here just like running up a check, like for real. Like, what do you mean? I got like regular utilities, bro. Like, I got like
Mm-hmm.
basic internet. I don't even have cable right now. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, I mean, I have expenses just like you have expenses, and sometimes they kind of
Stack
um
up.
they equal out. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, but you make that much money. What do you how like, yo, for real? You spending your time, you spending your all of your time at work. How do you even have time to spend money? Where do you even spend the money at? Like, you just in the office, just like on Amazon, just like buying up the whole joint. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
how do you even have expenses like that when you make that much money, bro? But then, like, yo, he's like, I have 4 or 5 cars. I have a $500,000 house.
God dang.
I
Okay.
have a timeshare somewhere and somewhere. Um, bought my wife a $10,000 wedding engagement ring set. I'm like,
Set.
yeah, because it come with 2 rings.
Oh, okay.
Um, but I'm like, bruh, like all that was by choice.
Yeah.
You had a choice in the moment that you had a choice, and then he's like, and then he tried to justify it with you, like, let me explain to you where I came from. I'm like, okay, where you come from? He said, I came from nothing, so I just always wanted something. And I'm like,
Mm.
bruh, I'm like, I think you got the whole game fucked up, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and it feels weird, right, to have a conversation with somebody who has money, who has more than you, and like somebody that, they said never meet your heroes, right? But that's the whole different story. um never meet your idols anyway. um if you came from nothing,
Mm.
the last thing you want to do is just be going out to buy a whole bunch of something when you get the money.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to the people who won the lottery?
They blow it.
I'm just being real, bro. Like, and it's funny though, because like we got this thing going on. I know you heard about it at work, bro. How our job is doing a raffle for people who get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Please tell me you heard about it,
Yeah.
bro.
Thing is ridiculous.
You
I was
got
like, ain't nobody winning that.
you got people. No, somebody gonna win it. The dude who created the raffle is gonna win
Yeah, basically.
it. And the money was in his pocket the whole time. He ain't never had to make a transaction with nobody. But bruh, people, when they announced it, dog, people started changing their whole value system up.
Come on.
There were people who were saying, "Yo, I ain't getting a damn vaccine. I ain't doing that," because everybody got their own opinions about what the vaccine is and shit. So
Uh-huh.
like, people who were saying that they won't go get the vaccine. They said, we're doing a $500,000 raffle or a drawing for
Mm,
people who get the vaccine, and then on top of that, you get, how many hours of UPT is it per shot? 10 hours per shot. You
yeah,
get
10
10
per
hours
shot.
per shot and an extra $40, and they just pay you to get the shot.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, people start hearing that, they start switching up their whole value system, bro. All of a sudden, you like, yeah, I'm gonna go get it now. I need that UPT. I'm like, what do you mean, bro? And that's what this is all about.
Tragic. tragic. Yep. Uh it's basically the dangling the carrot, man. Um so like it's crazy. Uh Back to the guy that has the, that makes a lot more money, but still having like those same problems. It's just like we said before, somebody with not a lot of money is gonna have the same, uh and it can be different. He had the opportunity to, you know instead of living that lavishly, he could have cut back, and live stably.
Mm.
Because I don't know why it happens, but like when people get like that large sum of money, especially with the stimmies that we were getting, the stimulus checks, uh, people got them janks, and like you said, like we
The
said,
lottery syndrome hit him.
we went to work one day after the stimulus checks. People got 30-day tags. They
Man, I'm telling
buying,
you.
and
I'm
it's
telling you.
like, why get all that money, that large sum of money, and then just like blow it, especially on something like a car, because once that money's gone, you're
You
still gonna have that car that you're
you
gonna
still
have
got to
to
pay for that joint.
fax. And it's just like, all right, what's gonna happen when COVID is over? Basically, let's say it like that. What happens when COVID is over and they're not shoving out stimulus checks anymore? You're gonna have to go back to some type of 9 to 5, or buckle down, get your shit together, make a business, something.
And yeah, then on top of that, like what actually happens if you end up being one of the people who actually need the stimulus check?
Ooh, right?
Because like for real, like people who work where we work at, they would geek because all right, we getting a stimulus check,
Mm,
but we still got jobs.
right.
So this is extra money.
For other people, that was
That was
the
their
only
only
thing they
money.
got.
Right, exactly. Like there were people who literally lost their jobs who needed that money. And here
Mhm.
you are just like being frivolous with it and acting like it's just like chump change just put in your pocket, or like the drop in the bucket. Um, but the thing is though, like I feel it's really weird that different scenarios
Mhm.
changes people perception on money. And it's weird because it's like once you get into a mode where you ain't got no choice but to grind, all of a sudden you grinding. But then when you get into a situation where everything is going good for the moment, you ain't grinding no more. So these same people who lost their jobs, and I mean, like, yo, for real, I'm not trying to disrespect nobody who lost their job during COVID, bro. I promise you that's not what this is about. But most of y'all who lost y'all job during COVID, y'all won't grinding before then. So that's why you end up losing your job in the first place. That's why you ended up in a situation where you needed a stimulus check because you won't grind it. Then all of a sudden you lost your job. They give you a stimulus check. Now you're trying to grind, but it's already too late. The shit that hit the fan already. The time for grinding was before you lost the job. You should have got to a situation where it's like, all right, look, I done already started putting some shit together. So now that I done lost this job, let me focus on this right quick until something else comes along. Now you trying to put shit together. You trying to come out like, bruh, I hated the fact that somebody was like, all right, now I'm an entrepreneur because I lost my job. All of a sudden, I don't think that's how that worked. I don't think that's how that worked. Like people who were people, and I promise you, bro. I told you I used to be in network marketing,
Uh-huh.
and most of the people in Petersburg I've already talked to about becoming network marketers and all that other stuff like that, doing direct sales and whatnot. I ain't got no beef with network marketing. I just got my own product now, so I mean it is what it is. I talked to most of these people here, bruh, and everybody was like, "Yep, fuck that. Nope, it ain't me. It's a scam. Blase, blase, splee, whatever the case is." And now all of a sudden, when COVID hit, now all of a sudden we entrepreneurs now. We out here balling now. We out here trying to make money now. We out here self-employed now. We done change, like, you know, I done seen so many people change their job status, their job title on Facebook to self-employed, bro, and they making no money. Like, yo, I'm trying to figure out how that worked, bro. Like, you just became an entrepreneur all of a sudden.
Right. Ain't got no product being sold, ain't got no,
right. And
service being,
and the thing that pissed me off, Mark, is that they look at me and say, I'm doing this like you are. I'm doing this like you.
How so?
When did you start? I'm sorry, youngin, newbie. Like, bro, like, and I hate to be mean about it, but bro, like, y'all gotta understand, like, you can't just go ahead and put your stamp on something and just be like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur. That's not how that works, man. That's not how that works. So I wanted to get back into the lottery syndrome thing, man, because I watched that my entire life, bro. Like, I want to ask you a question. Like, do people where you from, do they play the lottery heavy like that?
Yeah, like if you go to the gas station right up the road, immediate left, go down the street, not even like a block, another left. You could sit in there and watch people come in at that big old green, whatever that somewhat green station is, and they just sitting there.
Yeah. And they made it automated, so you ain't got to talk to nobody no more.
Right?
They made it automated, like, oh man, I wish I can find this picture, bro. Like, I took a picture of my mom had a little bucket. It's actually I jacked the bucket, but I use it for. I use this little tub thing. It's like a little toolbox, a Sterilite toolbox, and she had it like it was full of a whole bunch of lottery tickets, bro.
Come on.
And not the scratch off joints. I'm talking like the actual lottery tickets, right? So that joint was full of lottery tickets, and there were like multiple, huh?
The ones you got to pencil in. Or
nah, the purchased ones.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So after the fact, after the money was already spent on it.
Right.
So lottery tickets cost 50 cents to $1. $5 if you play the Mega Million.
Right.
And that whole thing was full of lottery tickets. There were, I counted, 4 bags of full lottery tickets, Mark. All ranging. I think the oldest one that I found at the time was 2017.
That's not that.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Mark. So in a how would I move? I like in a 3-year period. In a 3-year period, bro. Like based off of what I was saying, bro, that was like $5,000 worth of lottery tickets, bro. $5,000 worth of lottery tickets on a dream, bro. On a dream, you'd have paid $5,000 on a dream, and you ain't did nothing with the idea.
Thanks.
You ain't did nothing with the idea. You done spent $5,000 on a dream, but if somebody asked you to invest in something that can potentially, somebody asked you to invest in your future, invest in an opportunity to move forward with your life, all of a sudden, you ain't got no money.
Thanks.
You ain't got no money for opportunity, but when it comes time to get your hair done, when it comes time to get your nails done, you got money for that. When it comes time to buy video games, you got money for that. When it comes time to buy comic books, you got money for that. All of a sudden, you got money. Now, all of a sudden, you got money. But when somebody asks you to break outside your comfort zone, you ain't got no money.
Thanks.
We asked you to put $20 on the opportunity, you ain't nowhere to be found. Bruh, I'm like, yo, it don't make sense to me because people get frustrated, people get mad, and they have conversations around the fact that they ain't got money. But the answer is staring you right in the face. The answer is staring you in the face, like people with skills. I'm talking people who got skills. I'm talking.
Right.
I mean, we know people who can fix anything they put their hands on. We know people who got bars for days. We know people who got skills when it comes to drawing shit. We know people who got skills when it comes to writing shit and all. And nobody is doing absolutely nothing. But yet, when the conversation about lottery comes up, if I had $1 million, oh no, you not. If you had $1 million, you'll blow that shit in one day, and you'll be back here tomorrow.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yo, and I'm listening to these people having this conversation about this $500,000 that our job is trying to give out for quote unquote getting the vaccine. And I'm like, yo, and I was like, for real, y'all might want to go ahead and resign because y'all be back. Just go ahead and resign. Don't quit, because if you quit, they ain't gonna let you back in the door. Just go ahead and resign, and so you can just come on right back. And I was like, in fact, just go ahead and take a leave. Don't even play around with it. Just go ahead and take a leave. Just take a leave of absence. You'll be back. Don't even fuck around with it, bro. Because y'all know y'all ain't going nowhere, and you know you're gonna fuck up once you get out there because you got money problems now. You paycheck to paycheck now. You can't keep the bank from overdrafting your account now.
Crazy. Whew. So with that, I think of that in the light of, like, to be real, people are lazy. Like, the reason that they have those problems or they're in those situations is they're lazy. They don't want to work.
Yeah.
That lottery syndrome. The lottery sells a dream where I have to do as little work as possible, and I get this huge lump sum of money, 100 million, 500,000, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all I gotta do is, get a shot, or, spend 50 cents here to, scratch off this paper. And like you said, with that 5,000, I correlated with the I seen my homeboy made a post about, like, all right, a dream is only a dream, unless you take the dream. I think he's make a plan, or turn the dream into a goal, turn the goal into planning, and then it becomes reality. You stretch that 5,000 over, that simple formula right there, you got yourself you can be that entrepreneur. You can make twice as much as that lump sum of money that they're trying to give you.
All right,
But yeah,
so I found the picture.
I
found the picture of the lottery tickets,
and
I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Go ahead and keep talking. I got you.
So it's like, why sacrifice all that money, waste it, instead of using that same money and then putting hard work behind it, putting some type of plan behind it, an actual plan, solid plan that you worked on to get yourself out of that, all that right there. Like, that's Jesus. Oh my.
So for those of you who listening to this on audio only, there is a what I'm showing right now was a picture of bags on top of boxes of lottery tickets that were saved up through the years. And well, I don't know if you were done with that statement or not. I'm gonna wait until you finish before I go in. And
yeah, I was finished. So to get out of this, all the money that went into this, put all that money into the formula of, have a dream, make that dream, plan it out. Once you plan it, set goals, accomplish the goals, stretch out that money into all that formula, and then boom, you can accomplish your dreams. You can, get out of that picture you just showed us. That's whoa.
it's ridiculous, right?
So
But I remember spending my childhood being extorted for money because she ain't never had money to do nothing or to pay the bills, quote unquote. But I we have this right here. We have bingo and cigarettes, and I'm like, your priorities fucked up. Like, what are you? Why are you asking me for money? Like, I'm looking at you, and I know you got your priorities fucked up. So why are we? Why are we having this discussion about money? Like that's not how this is about to work. But like, I don't even get the mentality of even saving these jokers.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, what? Why
I
keep
don't
them?
know, bro. Like, I don't even get the purpose of that. Like, and there was anger towards me when I threw them away too. That was that was the weirdest part about it. I'm like, I need the bucket. I thought I figured out a better use for it. Like, I don't know what you want. Like, is what do you what? So but all right. So Mark just said it, man. And I think we can go ahead and start fleshing it down on this note, man, because
Mm,
it mm,
take your
mm,
time.
bruh, I promise you this conversation is like it hits me where it hurts, bruh.
Mm,
Because like I watched so many of my family members like waste money on a pipe dream, bruh. And we
mm,
talked about belief last week, and I want y'all to get this right. And I'm not, and I promise you, I'm not saying this for nothing. We talked about it last week about people who they they don't have the belief in themselves to make anything happen on their own. And honestly, like I feel like if you're putting this much faith into another entity to give you what you want out of life, then you'll never set yourself up to have faith in yourself to even do it on your own. You'll never have faith in yourself to do anything on your own, to make anything of your own, or be successful at anything if you continue looking at anything external to do for you, which you can't do for yourself. And since we're on the topic of can't do for yourself, if you can't do for yourself, then you will never have.
right.
So many people that I know that have that have sat at that green kiosk at the corner store
Mhm.
filling out numbers like a scantron,
Yeah.
scratching off tickets until they fingernails bled. Like they they're in the same position right now. Even those who have won this money, even those who have gotten a substantial amount of money from a big payout, they are in worse situations now than they were before
Mm,
because they didn't work for that money in the first place. So I'm talking. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about lottery winners. I'm talking about people who got payouts because of settlements of in court or whatever the case is. I'm talking. I'm talking about those people. People who extort money from people. Like, yo, for real. You don't have the wherewithal to know how to create it on your own. So when you get it, the only thing you know how to do with money is spend money. You don't know how to make money. So you'll never keep it. It'll never come to you as fast as you want it, but it'll
mm.
always go as fast as you don't need it.
Ooh, heck. Mm,
Mm,
yeah. And it takes time to get to that mentality to get out of that situation. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's an addiction. It is a a sickness that plagues a community. Like for some reason, you can literally just chill in a gas station and you would see about a good probably 80% of the people that come in scratching off lottery tickets, uh that big jank that they got with all the little rip off janks, uh that sits up right up above the
Yeah.
cash register.
Yeah.
You see old dudes coming there. Let me get I got this $20 bill. Let me get 5 on such and such, and the 10 and the rest on whatever. And that's their livelihood. That they get that with a 6-pack of beer, and then go about their business.
Or even worse, bro, because like I've watched this happen because I was sitting in the car waiting on it to stop, but they'll go in with a lot of money and buy a whole lot of them, buy a handful of them, and scratch off until they ain't got no money left.
And then probably get like get one of them that's probably like $1, and that's life to them. That's a successful win to them.
But then complain when it's time to pay bills about how you don't have any money. Bruh, when I tell you that this is my life, bruh, like I promise you, like I grew up hating, and this is gonna be the name of this episode. I grew up hating the lottery syndrome because of people who do that. Like I literally saw family members go into put themselves in the debt because they were too focused on the Mega Million pot, bro. And I swear we live in a society that's extorting money from y'all left and right, and y'all don't even notice it, dog. Like, for real.
Yeah.
They don't talk about the lottery on no other time, bro. And they know their target audience. They know their target audience. Y'all up here watching the news. Y'all ain't doing nothing with your lives. You reading the newspaper. You watch the news every single day. It come on morning. Come on in the morning. And come on in the evening. And it come on at night. And y'all watch it every single time. And all of a sudden, they'll put you in this state of panic because on the last, and I swear, the news broadcast, and I watched it happen. News broadcast show the same exact stories all day long. But for whatever reason, one night I was looking at the news and I watched every joint every single day because I was sitting with my ex's mom and I saw something. The news at night, like, you know, because they shut it down at like what 9 o'clock or something like that. You can't play lottery tickets no more or buy lottery tickets after 9 o'clock or something like that because they do the news the lottery drawing on the news at night. Or they do it 2 times a day. But this particular night, outside of the lottery drawing joint that the segment that they do, they had a whole joint that they were talking about the pot. The pot at the time was $650 million. And they did a whole story on it, bro. They did a whole story on it, bro. And let me tell you what happened to the corner store that next day, bro. There was a traffic jam on Route 1 because of the corner store's traffic being so high because people were in that joint buying lottery tickets, bro.
That's a mean carrot, bro. That is a mean carrot.
Very big, juicy one. Big and juicy.
That's crazy. I wonder how mad people would get, and we could probably close it out if, like, some way, somehow, we convince the world or something that, like, the lottery is a hoax. Stop playing the lottery, and they decide, all right, we could either I don't have you watched Squid Game yet?
I have not.
Yeah, okay.
I don't follow hype, bro.
So, I mean, it was kind of relating to that. They do something similar to what I'm about to say. What would happen if they were like, all right, we're gonna stop the lottery. The money's gonna go to, like, you know, a charitable donation or whatever. If we can get such amount of people to, give their signatures. We're gonna do a poll to stop the lottery or to continue it. But if we stop it, the money is, dispersed over something productive. So we're gonna say it that way. I wonder how many people would, vote to
Taxes.
stop it. You said taxes. Oh yeah.
It go to fixing the roads. There wouldn't be not one pothole in Virginia.
Facts.
Damn. And we'll get plowed when the snow comes.
Bruh, it's always like when the snow comes, it's like only one plower out there on the road.
Always, all day long.
Just one. I'm like, yo, y'all can't invest and get like more of them janks so we can get the road a little bit clear.
Especially when you got people sitting in town hall of most cities, just extorting money from the taxpayers, bro.
Thanks. That's another thing. Well, we're gonna end it there and talk about that. Because like that is crazy. Because like extortion that's another sickness for like another time. Like we lost here in this town alone. We lost a college.
Oh, y'all too?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like people, I ain't gonna say we did. Well, I mean, we probably did depend on that college, but like
big business.
It was
big business, bro.
So much opportunity coming from that college.
I bet
like, you destroyed
a community and did it worse than the drug dealers would do.
Right.
A drug dealer wouldn't even destroy a community that bad, bro. At least his money's still going through the community after a drug dealer come through, bro. Damn, that's crazy.
Thanks. But all right, bro. People's do the work. Stop looking for handouts. Stop trying to, find the easy cop out. Do the work. Invest in yourself and do the work. And the possibilities are endless.
Believe that you can actually make it happen on your own. That's what I'm going to end it off with. Like, because if you never believe that you can make it happen on your own, then you'll end up in this situation where you keep depending on somebody else to make it happen for you, and that will never suit you. That your family cannot survive like that. I always say, and people get pissed when they hear me say this, right? I say, my future kids don't give a damn about my excuses. My future kids don't give a damn about what reasons I have to not being successful. Only thing they care about is that I loved them, supported them, cherished them, and gave them the life that they deserve. And my kids don't deserve the life that I had growing up. My kids don't deserve me standing in front of a green kiosk scratching off tickets all day. My kids don't deserve me giving their dinner money away to go play bingo or put into the lottery. My future kids don't deserve that. My future kids won't have that. So you had to put yourself in a situation where you think legacy, because y'all thinking about yourselves right now, and it's getting old. It's getting real old. You thinking about how you can benefit from money, and that's why y'all so shallow, because you ain't got no why. You ain't got no why. You ain't doing it for nothing. You just doing it just so you can survive today. You ain't even trying to survive tomorrow. You ain't even trying to survive next week. You ain't even thinking about it. You're just trying to survive right now. You trying to survive right now. Whole family at home. You are trying to survive right now. And y'all got to get out of that mindset. You got to get into a form. You got to evolve right now. You got to get to your final form. Y'all not like Shaggy. Y'all got to get to y'all got to use y'all whole 100%, because y'all 10% ain't working, bro. Y'all got to use that brain to come to a conclusion and say, look, I got to do this for my family. My family got to eat. So let me do this for them. That's all we got, bro.
All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack, and we are signing off.
Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.